How about we cap things off with talking about
The
the
actor
SAG
strike.
strike? Yeah, we
Yeah,
we know that um
some wild
they said
stuff.
yes to a deal. But I have been seeing more online that as we're heading towards the actors themselves voting yes or no to like having this deal be completely done, that a lot of voice actors are coming out expressing their frustrations towards the deal itself, saying that the wording doesn't really seem like it's completely protecting them from AI, and they don't. And while they feel like the residuals and the pay and the benefits are helpful, the AI aspect of it is what's really concerning them, especially for just like other actors with voice actors, they can probably studios can probably easily just be able to convince an actor to like replicate their voice, and then they won't need to hire them ever again, and maybe the pay itself won't be as good. Again, like I that part is just me like wondering what's going on, but there are many voice actors I'm just seeing online that are just or not advocating, but they're really seeming like they're not into this deal because of that. And it makes me worried that this deal wasn't really thought of with not just, live action acting, but just the voice acting aspects. And that's really disappointing to hear. So I don't know. Maybe in the coming days, a lot more people will vote no than yes. And maybe we'll be in a tricky situation, I suppose, in terms of the industry. But I just feel bad for the voice actors because animation is already, um, not it's such a fickle industry, I suppose, because a lot of people still get turned off by animation, thinking it's only for kids when that's not the case. There are many wonderful, beautiful pieces of animation that are for adults, and voice acting itself is a really terrific craft to be able to have, and a terrific talent to have. And it's not just within animation; it's also within voiceover work and like live action spaces or video games itself. So yeah, I just worry about the voice actors, and we'll just have to move forward and see what becomes of the deal itself, whether people vote more no than yes. But it's
I
just frustrating to
wanna
see that.
I wanna read what you sent me, a little bit of it. So
Hmm.
Kyle sent me on Instagram a post from Sarah Cravens, who you've heard her voice. She's done stuff
Hmm.
in lots of video games, Final Fantasy remakes, Fire Emblem. She's doing anime and One Punch Man. I think she was doing silent voice. I think I saw one of her credits as, yep, silent voice, which is excellent. Lego Star Wars, the video games. You've heard her voice. I'm going to read a little bit about what she said. So forgive me here. She said, I'm going to skip the first part where she talks about how grateful she is to everybody negotiating and how hard they've been working. She goes, I am
Hmm.
also deeply troubled that this contract did not get there on AI protections. The language provided in the summary is vague. The meetings by SAG that were supposed to inform us on our contract gains actually solidified me feeling worse about this contract. And as a working voice actor for 20 years, I fear this language is the death of me. I also pride myself on being an incredibly positive, half glass full person, and I love teaching newcomers the art of voice acting. In this contract, if this contract is ratified as is, I truly feel I cannot, in good conscience, teach newcomers in the industry that yes, if you work hard and be your unstoppable, authentic self, there is a place for you. With this contract, I do not see how it will be. I'm going to skip a little bit there. She continues to talk about that kind of
Let's see if we
stuff.
can post some screenshots of it as well.
Yeah.
That might be a good
Um,
idea.
she's been just in this past year. I was dangerously close to losing my health insurance, but because of those types of minor roles in gamings and dubbings, I was able to barely make my health qualify for this threshold. That will no longer happen. Um, According to the new contract, those non-leading role jobs that kept me afloat and literally made my health insurance when I didn't have a national commercial running this year, didn't have any incentive for longer lasting performers. And she goes on to continue to talk about how this isn't fair. It's going to continue to really ruin that industry, part of the industry. And this is no fault of who I'm going to talk about here, but I am going to talk about Chris Pratt because he's always in the news for his voice work.
Hmm.
And I think it's no fault to him. It's the fault on the studios. I
Hmm.
understand that you you're going to need a big name sometimes to sell your animated movie. Big actors are voicing characters in every animated movie. There is no animated movie that isn't an anime movie, and Miyazaki gets big actors. disregarding those, unless you're an anime movie, you are going to probably have big name actors. I mean, there's no movie I can think of that doesn't have them.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, working voice actors who only do voice work sometimes get minor parts on those big movies. Sometimes they get, you know, they tend to go more towards anime and video games where big actors don't always. Sometimes they do crossover.
Television
But
too.
that is hurting this industry.
Mhm.
It's no fault of Chris Pratt. I understand you're trying to sell your movie. Chris Pratt didn't sell Mario. Mario, I think, would have made $1 billion no matter who was the voice. Because it's a huge, huge property. Garfield, I get a little bit more. I get Garfield a little bit more. I don't know if I would have cast him as Garfield, but I get that a little bit more. You need a bigger actor to sell your Garfield movie. You just do. But those decisions where you are having 50 big name actors do this voice work is also hurting it. And the studios are part of that problem. The studios are. But what disappoints and breaks my heart the most is that the nanny herself and all of the representatives of SAG are not fighting harder for these voice actors and not fighting harder for these AI protections. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like it's not just voice actors, but that the loopholes and some of the compromise, it sounds like, is going to hurt voice actors the most. And that is devastating because you can be a very talented voice actor and not be a great physical actor. It's true. You can. There are people who, that's part of the reason there are voice actors that don't get huge chances on screen. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it. You need a lot of luck, but there is truth to that, And yes, Tom Hanks is a very good voice actor. He does a good job as Woody. Chris Pratt does do a very good job. Some people, you see Seth Rogen, who has been in animated movies all the time, and he's like, I don't do different voices. I don't try to do that. Why would you? You're not hiring me for that. You're hiring me to do a regular voice and to sell the movie. And it's
You're
like, okay,
for my voice, not for me to replicate another voice.
Yeah.
But or not replicate.
At that point, stop hiring Seth Rogen to be the third character. Not the main character, not the main villain in your movie. It's time to start hiring other people that do such a great job. I mean, anime is huge for a reason. Those voice actors do stuff that you like that are just incredible. Even in the dubs, there's just incredible talent. And
Absolutely.
I'm very upset that this has happened, and it makes me very scared. And these 3 years will be a big test. When these 3 years go on and this contract is ratified, and if there is a huge part of the of the masses that are like, this is not good for us, and we see the result of that, I think we could see some really another big strike here in 3 years where the actors are like, you guys screwed us, and a bunch of us higher paying people didn't realize it, but you screwed a lot of the other people, and it's not good. So it's shame. I don't want to hear an AI voice. I don't want to hear it. It doesn't sound good. We heard it in Rogue One with not Rogue One. One of the Vader's in something that they've done more recently where it is AI. It is not James Earl Jones, where James Earl Jones said, you can take snippets of the past stuff, AI, and change up my voice. He signed something, but it doesn't sound.
It Obi-Wan?
It might have been Obi-Wan. But he doesn't sound as good in that. Yeah. He at least in Rogue One, it is James Earl Jones, and he does sound older. And so you can tell, but still, at least it's him. And I would rather have that. Yeah, this is dumb. Studios, do you want to stay in business?
No.
do you want us to watch your products?
I genuinely believe, Alex. By the way, Alex,
they don't care. They see us as sheep.
You expressed everything that's wrong about this so eloquent. You did a great job. Well done. That's what I'm trying to say.
You do a great job too on the show.
I can't say words. But anyway, in terms of the studios, no, I honestly don't think studios care about making movies anymore. Like, just with the patterns of their behavior being like, oh, we're going to just inherit this studio, sell it for its parts, and then somehow make more money by
The
selling it to
major
another
studios.
studio.
The major
It is the major
studios.
studios, for sure.
A24 killing it. I actually think Lionsgate doing a great job after seeing
They're
this Hunger
trying,
Games
man.
movie. They're
They're trying
trying.
to survive.
They're surviving. They needed a little Hunger Games. Go support the Hunger Games because the movie is very good.
You'll find out what I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just feel like they forgot they want to think like they're a tech industry so bad, which all they do is sell each other to one another when
Yeah.
you're supposed to make movies. Like, yes, they may not always like profit, but I don't know. That's like it's so frustrating. It's art combined with business, and it's so frustrating to know when you're just so thick in the industry of like what comes first almost all the time, I imagine. But no, these studios drive me nuts. They don't care. It feels like they don't care anymore, and it's sad. So
It reminds me a lot of the quote from the late great John Schnepp, a guy Kyle and I had never met, don't know, but watched every day, all the time for years on Movie Talk. Who I remember when it was first starting to be rumored that Fox was going to sell to Disney, that he said, "This is not a good thing. Marvel nerds think it's a good thing because it's cool to say I want the X-Men in." And that is true. It is cool. It's going to be cool. But he says at the end of the day, what you lose are good products. Because
the
when
rest
you're
of
when
the industry,
when it's only run by 3 people and there's not as much to go see, well, eventually it's going to die out. Like they're just making you're not making good enough stuff to compete. You know what I mean? And the streaming part has been a part of it. I don't think streaming is the death of the product. I think it is a part of it. There's never going to be one whole thing that brings down the wall. It's going to be many things. And this the streaming is part of it. I mean, Apple just released what I hear is an amazing show about Godzilla on TV in the Monsterverse. Why am I not seeing that in the theater? Granted, we are going to get a movie in that universe again that looks cool, but
is Godzilla minus? Are you talking about Godzilla -1 or the one next year?
No, the show premiered yesterday.
No, I know the one on Apple, but you said that we're going to see another movie in theaters that's a part of it. Are you talking
Godzilla
about...
-1 isn't a part of it. Godzilla -1 is made in Japan.
But...
I want to see that. I hear it's awesome. But no, I thought they were going to do another. Aren't they doing another Kong movie and they had that teaser, or is that the show?
No, I think you're right. There is another one next year. I was just trying to make sure which one you were referring to.
I'm referring to them both.
Right. Okay.
But like that show, make that into 2 movies and put them out. What are we doing here?
Sure. Yeah.
Like, it's just make show. I get everyone is now trying to be what HBO used to be. Okay, HBO was the king of the crop. Netflix showed up, said we can do that, and then a bunch of people were like, we can all do that, and then now nobody can do it. HBO might be the only thing that was still handling it well enough, and then Zazzy Boy was like, I'm not going to pay my actors, so we're going to cancel 15 of the best shows and write stuff off. By the way, it's really great that the Coyote movie, the Wile E. Coyote movie, is getting shopped around, and that Congress is trying to investigate on some of the shady stuff they're doing, that some people are trying to make that happen.
Once the government gets involved,
it's not going to happen. No, it's good people that are saying this is shady that are going to try to make it happen, and it's all the people in Congress that suck, that are friends with Zazzy Boy, that are going to keep it from actually happening, and they're going to get the
investigation for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But at least it's being talked about, and at least Warner Brothers is letting them shop it, and I hope somebody buys it.
It's also just sad that a company that has a legacy, legendary anime characters like Looney Tunes doesn't know that, and they would rather give it to someone else than use it. Which is funny. Like, oh, we're going to be the business of brands. We have all these brands that we want to use. Remember that slideshow they did a year ago where they show like,
oh yeah, Zazzy Boy was like, we're going to do
Looney Tunes was in that.
Looney Tunes is one of the biggest franchises you've ever seen.
And now he almost didn't want to release a Looney Tunes movie. Like, look, are they the hot thing now? Maybe not, but you could easily work hard to make it become like your Mickey Mouse. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible to bring things back, and then you have a brand, because you're so brand driven. If you work hard, you can make a new, but in quotes, but a new brand, even though it's old and it has legacy to it. And Granted, I'm a little biased because I watch Looney Tunes Saturday mornings at like 6 a.m. and it just
You were
sucks.
a big Looney Tunes guy. No, it does suck.
And it just sucks that they don't know what they have and they would rather just hide it away after hard work was made to it and not at least give it a chance. Even on streaming, you know?
Because
like,
Zazzy Boy bought a company.
Sucks.
Zazzy Boy bought a company that was really struggling. They're licensing everything. Band of Brothers is on Netflix. My dad was like, I just watched Band of Brothers because it was on Netflix. Dad, you pay for Max. You've had access to Band of Brothers the whole freaking time.
No one knows where anything is. No one knows.
Well, Band of Brothers, you should know. It's been on HBO forever. It's one of the biggest shows they've ever put out. That should be known. But it's ridiculous what they're doing. Yeah. Zazzy Boy bought it and was like, HGTV is one of the biggest brands on the planet. It's like, only my mom and dad watch that. What are you talking about?
Which, fair, middle America, that's where good consumers are. Like, it's part of a good strategy, but you're working with movies and you gotta do better. A lot better.
Well, clearly, because everything is struggling. Even look at Disney's Wish. It's getting not great reviews, and it's right now considered to be one of the lowest, if not the lowest tracking Disney animated movie ever. And Disney's I think it's right now debuting with its like cool worst anymore. Score, but it's just, it's because it's meh, 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 meh. And that meh is starting to turn into bad because people are tired of this bad quality content, especially when some of the biggest, best animated movies have been coming out dominating. We had Into the Spider-Verse this year, or Across Spider-Verse. It was great. We got a Miyazaki movie coming to IMAXs. And that movie, I guarantee you, is going to do banging at the box office. And it's a bummer that Disney is probably going to be the one to capitalize off it, because I think Disney is still the one who releases it in the U.S.
The Miyazaki one?
Yeah, they partnered with Miyazaki years ago. Way back when. They always are the American distributor of Miyazaki. But Miyazaki gets a lot of say. Well, I think it was Harvey Weinstein's company for a while. I don't know. Did Disney buy that company?
I don't know.
I know Disney's involved, and I know there's the famous...
Who has the Weinstein Company?
There's the famous story where Harvey Weinstein, the biggest loser, go die in a hole on the planet, he...
Not in jail.
He wanted to make a bunch of cuts to, I think, Howl's Moving Castle, and Miyazaki's buddy, like producer buddy, sent him a katana in the mail. And it just said no cuts, or we're going to come cut you down, boy. And I wish they would have.
Not to prop up Weinstein at all, but I bet he was probably like, well played. Like, he was like, that's good business. Because they're all...
Miyazaki was so like, I'm not going to... God, he is... God. Miyazaki's... Or not Miyazaki. Miyazaki's amazing. Harvey Weinstein, you suck.
He's a treasure. Of course. So, yeah, unfortunately, we kind of ended that episode on a bit of a downer, but it's good to be vocal about this when it comes to an industry that we do love. Like, we just love, being able to watch art, but when the industry doesn't understand that, we have issues like these.
And this is why A24 saying we want to get into the big budget movie game is good. It's a good thing. You want a company that does make quality content to say, all right, guys, we're making a lot of money. Let's do a $100 million movie. We don't need to make a $500 million budgeted movie. Let's make a $100 million movie. We'll get into the big budget game, and let's see if we can put some real quality content in here and make everybody go, oh, crap. Everyone wants to see this weird Nicolas Cage big budgeted movie or something. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see. Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes was good. I really enjoyed watching it in the theater. It has some issues, but it was like, okay, great. This looks good. It is big budget. It's nice being in this world. Like, let's get back to letting original content happen, or go adapt a book that's really good. Like, let's get back to that kind of stuff here. What are we doing? We're
selling. Profit.
Before we end it, I asked...
Shareholders.
I actually wonder, the viewer... No one's going to comment on this. Make it to the end. But I'm very curious.
No.
I am so interested because in Japan, they make live action versions of their animated anime shows all the time. All the time. And I wonder if in Japan, because I've never been to Japan, want to go one day. I mean, obviously big supporter of anime and their culture there and everything, but I wonder if they complain the way America complains about Disney doing it. If they're tired of these live action adaptations that they're making,
Yeah,
or if they're not. Like if
yeah, I
they
don't know.
really like it. I mean, clearly One Piece on Netflix hit worldwide was so popular. And I know Netflix buys a lot of those because they are very popular. So I wonder if they don't, if they just love their stuff and they love seeing it in different forms and mediums. Uh Interesting.
I'm
It's
sure.
just interesting.
I'm sure that they themselves know. Like, I'm sure that even they themselves would be like, yeah, some of it isn't like highest quality, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find that out.
Because similar to us, like One Piece seems like it has really good quality. Other live action animes like Dragon Ball, not so
Ugh.
much.
Because
Yeah.
I know in Japan they do debate if you should watch American animated animation in sub or dub. They have the same debate we have over
Oh,
here.
sure.
Like there's a huge community. Apparently, King of the Hill, huge over in Japan as like
Oh, cool.
an American product, which is really interesting.
Hmm.
But there's real heavy debates. Do you watch it in the sub or the dub? Should they watch it with Japanese subtitles and in English?
Mm.
Which is interesting. So I wonder if that debate also happens there. Anyway, all right, guys. I told Kyle we should make this a quick episode, and it was about the same length just to save my
Gotcha.
voice. But all right, guys, what do you think of today? Comment below. Let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And yeah, as Thank You Meal patrons, help us get one of these, do all that good stuff. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.